So my name is Josh, aka at King of the Woods on Instagram. Had to, sorry. So we came up with an idea and we're talking about best hunting stories, and we had the idea of not a story that like the first morning you went out and a big huge bull ran out in front of you and you shot the biggest bull of your life in 10 minutes, but the best hunting story that made, like, every time you think of hunting you always think of this one story. So everybody, that's going to be different for everybody because maybe the best hunting story you have is that biggest bull that you shot in 10 minutes. Like, that's your best story. But for me, I think it's when I was probably 10 or 11. I might have been 12, but we were elk hunting cow elk with my grandfather, Dr. Lawrence Jones, outside of Troy, Oregon, in the winter. It was like November, maybe December. There was snow on the ground, like 8 to 12 inches. And we hadn't had much action, and they wanted to push a small band of trees between like two big fields. And in my head, I'm like, we haven't seen elk all day. Why would there be any elk in this small, it's like a 200-yard wide by 600-yard long band of trees in the middle of these big, huge fields? I'm like, okay, fine, one more push. So of course, right when we push into it, boom, elk are running out of the trees, out into a big field. And my grandfather shoots one right in the head on a run at like 200 yards away. Like, who do you know does a running headshot at 200 yards? Our grandpa did. So we got the elk on the ground and we're starting to work on it. And I think I'd been involved in maybe one or two breakdowns, but this was my grandpa, and so I was like, cool, we'll help grandpa out. And we're starting to work on it, and I remember him telling me, whatever happens, don't ever puncture the gut sac because it could taint the meat, and that's not good. Okay, so I don't think I had the knife in my hand, but I think he might have been working on it. But within like 20 minutes of starting to work on this elk, I punctured the gut sac, but it must have had like an air compressor inside of its belly or something, because when it got punctured, it literally blew up like a water balloon, and it blew straight up, and I was leaning over it, and it literally splattered all over my face. And all I remember is I was wiping my face and gagging and dry heaving and spitting, because I'm like 99% sure some got in my mouth. And you know, it's in the stomach, icky grass stuff. So I was horrified, and I started to cry, and I look up, and I figured my grandpa would be there for some, no, don't worry, like, we'll wipe you down, you know. And I look over, and he's falling backwards on the ground, laughing hysterically, like this is the best thing he's ever seen, laughing hard. And he's laughing and pointing at me, goes, "Old shit in the face, that's your name, that's your new nickname, old shit in the face." And I remember I was like holding my face, I don't want to be old shit in the face. And that was pretty traumatic. But at the same time, like, it, you know, for years I was like, oh man, that's the worst, like, nobody wants the name old shit in the face. But then, you know, after my grandpa died and I hunted for longer, I realized that maybe that was just meant to be given to me by my grandpa. So I think that's my best hunting story. And now that I'm 41, I could tell people, and if they say, hey, old shit in the face, I'll look at them and say, what's up, man? So that's my story.